Hi. A little bit of warning before I get this started. I'm going to be talking about gun control, or the emotion of why they talk about it during the election season, predominantly because it divides the nation. So if you're a snowflake, and by the definition of a snowflake is you cannot see any other viewpoint other than your own and lashing out and having a tantrum like a little child, please leave now while the rest of us adults have a conversation. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Okay, great. If you're still watching, I'm gonna assume you're sound mind and have no problem having a discussion with compassion and whatever the other one I was thinking. Anyway, good morning, YouTube and fellow being beyond the fourth wall. How are we doing today? I made a comment several weeks ago, maybe a little bit more than that, in regard to gun control. And it went along the lines of this. The reason that the left, which is an illusion because they're both part of the same bird, left, right, they're part of the same wing bird, American Eagle. But anyway, I'm telling you that they don't want to take away your guns is the quite opposite. They do. They tend to project on the other people. But anyway, the reason why they're doing this, or at least that I believe so far, and I may be wrong, who knows? They want to take your physical weapons, or I'm using that word into use, so I might as well just start using the word tool, which is what they are. The reason that they want to take your tools is because, physical one speaking, they can't take away your spiritual one. Now, I can't speak for you, but I think that's probably true. And if you look at past incidents, such as the rise of the Third Reich, and I put it on a link on one of my videos in the past. First, they want you to register, which, by the way, you do not register. The NIC check is just a background check to see whether or not you're a felon and whether or not you can buy a firearm. Do not confuse the NIC check with a national gun registry. That's what they want. Please don't let them do that. I am awesome! So, right at the Third Reich, they said, we need to have your guns. So, they found out that it didn't work. But now they have a list of all the names of the people that have the gun. Or at least the one that's admitted it didn't kill. So they took all the guns, or the people that are resistant, for the ones that didn't, they eliminated the individual that caused the problem. And the rest is history. We all know about Holocaust. Personally, I think it's real. I know various individuals that may or may not be related to the particular dictator. And the German kept way too meticulous a record of everything. Say what you want about their, actions on that, but they're fairly good engineers. But anyway, let's fast forward to, discovery of America, at least by way of Christopher Columbus, if you believe he discovered it or not. Part 2 that may tick you off. If you're still here, I'm hoping that you have a rational and sound mind. So, here's what happened. When Christopher Columbus found this country, whether he found it himself or not. Colonies kept coming. They wanted to enslave the indigenous population, Native American. Now, the problem with that, they knew the land. So, the moment the slave master wasn't looking, all they had to do was maybe run a mile or two away, and since they knew all the plants and wildlife, they could go on living. That created a little bit of a problem for those who wanted slave labor and not wanted to do some of the stuff themselves. Now I'm talking macro scale, not micro. Macro scale, macro meaning large, micro meaning small, using economic terminology here, so just bear with me on that one. So what they did is they imported their slaves from Africa. Say what you want, that kind of a smart move on their part. By the way, Africans were selling other African part of the common long before the white man came. So let's dispel that lie right there. So they imported the African, whether they were of dark persuasion or not. It was just easier to distinguish, at least on my side. So I apologize if you're pissed off about that. I realize it's a bad thing. Let's move on and, not use hate, love each other. Seriously. We all seem to share the same earth. Anyway, they imported the African. Same thing with the native indigenous population. The moment the slave master looked away, the African ran. He would run a mile or two and would run into some problems. He didn't know the land, so eventually they did, but this was just the beginning. And here we go. I know where I was going to go with it. So, since they couldn't enslave the indigenous people, what they did is, I thought this was whether this was very well thought out or not, this is kind of interesting. They would trade with the Indian or indigenous population. I'm going to use indigenous from now on. No, I don't want to confuse it. And one of those things they would trade with them would be firewater, aka alcohol. If you had any person in your life that had either died because of a car accident or been abused because of alcohol, you know how bad this stuff is. And it's still legal. We tried to ban it, didn't work. Second way they tried to control the indigenous population was through psychological warfare. While they were trading, they would trade blanket, which is in the population. Great, keep on. They would trade blanket. They were infected with smallpox or any other sort of dastard like shady deal. If that would not work, later on they found out that the indigenous population were on land that they wanted, whatever white man read them. They would have treaties, which, by the way, we broke nearly all of the treaties, and I apologize for that, at least from my perspective. I'm not sure if any of my ancestors were part of that, so I apologize for that from my perspective. So we would put them on reservations so we could use their resources. Small little plot of land. Anyway, you can look up trailers here, that sort of thing. That didn't work. We couldn't control the indigenous population. So, what the white man decided to do was, okay, we can't trade them. We can't enslave them. We can't trade them out. We can't breed them out. I don't want to talk about that because that's causing way too much hostility. So we're gonna have to starve them out. How do you do that? Well, particularly with the Indians of the prairie that were dependent on buffalo. Yeah, a white man decided to slaughter their food source. And I should watch the movie Adventure with Buffalo. I thought we were going to lose that for a moment. Yeah, the buffalo took the hide and tongue, removed the food source, let the corpse, rot in the sun. And then there was the methodology of massacre. So you can see what they would do just for the indigenous population. They would want to control them. So, what's the Indian? They fight back. Sad part of history. But as far as firearm control, well, that was way too old. There's no way they would do that now. Contraire, they have Hurricane Katrina. Say what you want about the dam, whether engineering was unstructurally sound or not, irrelevant. Floodwater is king. Well, flood water, whether water came from the sky or from the ground, irrelevant. It was a nasty piece of business. Water everywhere, chaos. Yeah, we're not gonna take your gun. And if you type up NRA Hurricane Katrina, you'll see plenty of videos of them taking their guns away. If you pay attention to history, which you probably should on a large scale, pay attention to what tools your enemies use, what methodology they use. That way they cannot use your emotion to cloud your thinking. I think that's all I have to say for today. I apologize if I may have ruffled some feathers, but you need to think about these things. Times are changing, as they always are, and you need to pay attention to those that are around you, those that you interact with. If you watch the news, and I don't, and it's quite too depressing. People are using words like impeachment, potential civil war, all that stuff. Do not listen to the news. Listen to both what they're saying and what they're not saying. Do not let them jerk you around. Think about these things. Don't react. I love you all. I apologize if I hurt, like I said before, ruffle some feathers. But you need to start talking about these things. We need to find out who actually are with you and who are against you. I love you all. I can't learn it for you. Wish I could sometime, but then you wouldn't learn the lesson. Have an awesome day. Take care. Bye-bye.